Hello everyone, we are Team Falcon from Aeronautical Department. We are going to present our project work on industrial safety at the environment. This project is guided by Mrs. Chandrakala ma'am, Chemistry Department, Hindustan University. Our topic is hazards identification and control measures in chemical industry workplaces. We opted this topic because we use many products in our day-to-day life, which are made up of many chemicals. So let us know what are chemical industry workplaces. Chemical industry workplaces comprise of companies that produce industrial chemicals. They convert raw materials such as oil, natural gas, water, air, metals, and other minerals into 70,000 different products. So, what do chemical industries produce? Chemical industries produce many products such as polymers and plastics. They mainly comprise about 80% of the industry's output. Polymers and plastics such as polyethylene, polycarbonate, polystyrene, polyvinyl chloride, PVC, etc. Textiles. Textiles such as dyestuffs, inks, and paints, which are used in the production of clothes and garments. They comprises about 10% of the industry's output. Petroleum and petrochemicals. Petrochemicals are primarily made up of LPG, natural gas, and crude oil fractions. Life sciences. Life sciences include differentiated chemicals and biological substances such as pharmaceuticals, diagnostics, animal health products, vitamins, and medicinal drugs. Specialty chemicals. Specialty chemicals have high value and rapid growth in the industry. They include electronic chemicals, adhesives, sealants, catalysts, etc. Consumer products. Consumer products are the products which we use in our day-to-day life, such as detergents, soaps, and cosmetics. Fertilizers and pesticides. These are the smallest category, about 6% in the industry's output. They mainly include phosphates, ammonia, potash chemicals, etc. They are used in crops and fields. Inorganic chemicals, products such as salts, chlorine, caustic soda, and soda ash, etc., and chemical acids such as hydrochloric acid, phosphoric acid, etc. These are mainly used in laboratories. Now, Snehit will explain a survey about chemical industry output based on the reports and what is hazard and what are control measures.
Thank you, Sriram, for the explanation. Now, as you can see, the slide includes a pie chart on production of materials by chemical industrial workplaces. Every year, the Chemistry Council tabulates the production of the top 100 chemicals. As the usage of the chemicals is increasing day by day, the manufacturing companies has to take a lot of efforts in producing them. So as the production rate increases, so as the hazards caused by them also increase. So now we can see what is a hazard and what is a control measure. As you can see, a hazard is a source or a situation which has a potential to harm the workers at the workplace or cause damage to the property, damage to the environment, or a combination of all these events can be said as hazard. And control measures includes action to be taken to reduce the potential exposure of hazard, and also how to eradicate it from the workplace, or how to reduce the effect of the hazard in the workplaces. Nowadays, workplace hazards are playing a major role in the health condition of the workers, especially in chemical workplace. The workers are being exposed to a lot of hazardous chemicals even without their knowing, because every small product in our day-to-day life is comprised of many chemicals. So the workers, especially at the chemical workplace, has to take a lot of safety measures. Now we can see types of hazards in chemical industries. They are chemical, biological, physical, safety, ergonomic, and psychological hazards. Now we can discuss some hazards caused at the chemical industrial workplaces and their control measures too. The basic hazard at every workplace is slips, trips, and falls. These are the most common accidents occur at workplace. According to health and safety report, 40% of the workplace injuries are occurred due to slips, trips, and falls. In addition to that, 95% of the workplace accidents are due to unsafe behavior, such as not putting appropriate measures to prevent slips, trips, and falls. Now we can see the control measures to reduce the effect of slips, trips, and falls. We can place a caution board that writes a wet floor, or we can place insulated mats or hazard sign plates, and regular maintenance and repairing floors to avoid slips and trips. So the further explanation will be given by Bipin. Thank you.
Thank you, Sneeram, Sneth, and Vigneshwaran for the explanation of various industrial hazards and their control measures to be taken. Now, I am going to explain about the four industrial hazards and their control measures need to be followed in order escape from them. And the four industrial hazards are as follows: contaminated clothing and workwear, and number two, poor visibility, poor visibility in low light environment, and number three, burns from chemicals and fires, and number four, stress and fatigue. Now I am going to explain about these four industrial hazards and the control measures need to be followed. Now coming to the first one, contaminated clothing and workwear. Contaminated clothing and workwear. Due to the contaminated clothing in the workplace, the like for example in mining, like for example let us take mining. In mining, if the contaminated clothing is there, then the due to the mining in the low due to the mining in the low level of the earth, so many toxic chemicals and gases are going to be released, and if that gases are released on our body and our workwear, then after some time the toxic gases are being released from that workwear, and this impacts on our skin, and we are attacked by some disease like skin cancer, and this can be lead to a high risk of having skin cancer, and sometimes even to the death. Now the control measures need to be followed for this industrial hazard is having a highly protective workwear in the industrial workplace for the every employee, and also the industry should be follow professional industrial laundry services in order to clean the workwear very finely. And number two is poor visibility in the low light environment. Due to the poor visibility in the low light environment, this affects the accuracy of our sight, and due to this less accuracy in our sight, so many accidents have been taking places. For example, due to the low light and the low light, some accidents may occur. Some moving vehicle can be we can hit by a moving vehicle, or come in contact with the operating machinery due to can't able to see. So then the control measures need to be followed for this industrial hazard is we have to provide high visibility. That means radium coated workwear for the employees in order to lower the risk of the accidents, and using torch light mounted helmets in order to make sure that the workers are present in that workplace. So by following these control measures, we can get low risk from industrial hazards, poor visibility in low light environment. And coming to the third industrial hazard, that is burns from chemicals and fires. So in so many industrial industries, like chemical industries and current electrical industries, there are many chemicals and toxic gases being released from the workplace. So in order to so if the industry is if the industry materials are flammable, then it may lead to the initiative fire. So in order to overcome this industrial hazard, the control measures need to be followed are using fire extinguishers, first aid kits, as many as possible, and also being placed the fire alarms and smoke alarms, so we can get alert and we can move from the fire emergency exit, and also providing flame resistant workwear to all the employees can be very useful, so that no deaths will be get happen in the workplace, and every employee safety is uh, concentrated. And the last industrial hazard I am going to explain is stress and fatigue. Stress and fatigue. This is a very common industrial hazard that is being placed in every industry. For example, let us take any industry. The workers are being continuously working for so many long hours. This results in the reduction of the concentration levels of the workers, so their quality of work will also be reduced. So because of this, if they are operating the high machinery means, then due to less concentration levels, they can misuse that operation, they can misuse that machinery, and that may lead to the employee death. So to overcome this industrial hazard, stress and fatigue from the workers, the company or industry need to be followed these control measures, such as having regular breaks for every 2 hours, so that every worker can uh, can make the stress free. And also the industry had to be implement a medical camp, such that in order to check every worker's mental and physical health, in order to yeah, and make sure of having constant access to food and water to every employee, so that no worker can have dehydration problem. So this is about 4 industrial hazards: contaminated clothing and workwear, and burns from chemicals and fires, and poor visibility in low light environment, and stress and fatigue. Thank you.
Now I am going to explain about paint fumes, pesticides, petroleum products, adhesives and sealants. Let's see paint fumes. Paints are not harmless as there seems to be. They are common chemical hazards at workplaces. The health hazards caused by paints have short-term and long-term effects on our body. Let's see controlling measures. Protect yourself paints by using water based paints. Ensure the painted room is well ventilated and stay outside if possible. Wear the right protective gear and take regular breaks during the painting. Now let's see about pesticides. Pesticides are common in agriculture fields. They are also present in the other industries when they are used to control pests in the workplaces. The effects of pesticides range widely depends on their concentration on other factors. The effects can be more severe to people with asthma and respiratory illness. Let's see about controlling measures. Wash and disinfect your hands well if you touch the pesticides. Ventilate the faginated room well to reduce the effects of the pesticides in the body. Let's see about petroleum products. Petroleum products include gasoline, fuel, oil, and etc. They are common in workplaces, hence it is hard to avoid their usage. The best way to protect yourself is to learn how to handle with the petroleum products. Too much exposure to the petroleum product can cause us skin irritations, burns, and infections. Accidentally swallowing can cause us disinfection in a swollen moment, or it leads to death. Let's see about controlling measures. Protect your hands when you are handling with petroleum products. Seek medical help immediately when you consume a petroleum product. Smell coming from petroleum products can cause us respiratory system illness. Adhesives and sealants. Glues and other adhesives are inevitable in workplaces. They help in bending files and other office tools together. However, sealants are made of dangerous chemicals that might bring serious health issues. Others are flammable too, which mean they can burn your hand. They can burn your workplace if you keep them near to the fire zone. Let's see about controlling measures. Improve the ventilation system in the office to prevent the effects of the sealants. Wear protective gear when handling with adhesive substances. Avoid eating or drinking in the office desk if you have not disinfected the surface or washed your hands. Now Sarath will take over the remaining hazards.
Now I'll be explaining about the hazards related to cleaning agents, welding fumes, gas cylinders and its control measures, and we'll also discuss some safety tips that are to be done in the workplace in order to avoid these chemical hazards. As you can see in the slides, cleaning agents. We use many cleaning agents such as bleaching powder, disinfectants, toilet soaps, etc. at our workplaces. These agents contain some hazardous chemicals like ammonia, chloroform, chlorine, etc., which can penetrate in our body and can cause skin irritations and other problems. The control measures to be taken are using cleaning agents that contain less harmful chemicals and read the instructions carefully before using them. Always wash your hands after using them. The next is welding fumes. If your work involves metal melting and smelting, take proper cautions as these welding fumes contain nitrogen oxides, nickel oxides, carbon monoxide, ozone, etc. These invisible gases are hazardous and can contain lifetime impairments. The known health impacts include occupational asthma, pneumonia, and cancer. The control measures to be taken are avoid welding activities if you are asthmatic, and always wear the right protective gear and avoid handling food products during the welding process. The next is gas cylinders. Many of you know that gas cylinders store corrosive gases under pressure. They are used in the lab for cooking, heating, and for fuel. However, these gases can cause deadly accidents if handled in the wrong way. The control measures to be taken are
Always keep the gas cylinders in an upright position unless the manufacturer instructs. Close the valves of the unused cylinders and store them well. Limit the number of people who handle the office gas cylinders so that you can avoid such accidents. Now I'll be discussing some safety tips that are to be done in the workplace in order to avoid the chemical hazards. There are many workplace chemical hazards, but the above that we discuss are the main ones. If you happen to handle any of them at work, follow the right protective tips in order to stay safe. Remember to seek medical help immediately if you swallow any chemical by mistake. Make sure there is a chat of helpline numbers in the workplace in order to avoid any kind of emergency. Always use good and compatible work equipment and instruments that can provide safety and avoid the occurrence of the hazard. That's it. Thank you, Chandrakala ma'am, for giving us this opportunity, and we hope this information regarding the hazards in the workplace and its control measures will be useful. Thank you, one and all, and have a nice day.